What is your name? What do you do at Pariser Dermatology? And how long have you worked here?
My name's Kelly. I'm a surgical assistant for our Mohs surgeon, Dr. Chang.
My name is Jennifer Clary Stamper. I do the managing of the communication room as well as the prior authorization department.
My name is Dr. Ashley Reed, and I'm a dermatologist and a dermatopathologist at Pariser Dermatology.
My name is Alicia. I work with Dr. Chang as a surgical assistant.
My name is Danielle Benedict. I'm the Clinical Operations Manager for Virginia Clinical Research.
My name is Dr. Lawrence Chang. I'm a Mohs surgeon at Pariser Dermatology.
Jania. I'm the front desk receptionist and also the cosmetic coordinator for the Norfolk location.
I'm Dr. Molly Smith. I am a dermatologist and a dermatopathologist.
Tracy. I'm a doctor's assistant.
My name is Whitney Henry. I'm a licensed master esthetician.
My name is Jenna. I'm a derm technician.
The name is Robert Pariser, and one more month will be my 42nd year.
For 4 years.
22 years.
For almost 7 years. It will be 7 years in October.
And I've been here for 13 years.
Over 3 years.
I've been here 20 years.
1 year.
For almost 13 years now.
In dermatology field for 10 plus years.
About 8.5 years.
About 7 years.
And how often do you wear sunscreen? Would you say your favorite sunscreen is?
I try to wear sunscreen almost every single day. Probably the Elta MD tinted moisturizing sunscreen.
I wear sunscreen every single day. I wear it year round.
Elta MD UV Daily Broad Spectrum. The reason I like this sunscreen is because I love my freckles, but I don't like wrinkles. And I wear it every single day.
Every day.
I wear sunscreen daily. Use sunscreen with SPF 30 at least, and over-the-counter Neutrogena is what I use.
Daily.
Elastin Hydratint for the tinted sunscreen for my face, and I like the Elta sunscreens for the chest and arms.
I wear sunscreen every day. I would say Aveeno Bare Minerals.
Probably not as often as I should, honestly, but certainly for any extended outdoor activity. More importantly, though, is physical cover-up. I'm pretty compulsive about hats and long sleeves and gloves.
I wear sunscreen on a daily basis. My favorite sunscreen is a sunscreen with an SPF of 30 on a daily basis. But if I'm at the pool or the beach, it's always going to be an SPF of 50. Reapply every 2 hours.
What age is the youngest person with melanoma that you've assisted with?
They were in their late 20s.
So in recent memory, in about the last month, I diagnosed a 30-year-old with melanoma on his back.
I think it's a 18-year-old young female with skin cancer on the forehead.
From a clinical perspective, I've had my youngest probably around 16 years old, but I actually was the pathologist, so I read a biopsy from a 14-year-old.
18 years old, and it was a melanoma.
Early 20s, like 25, 28.
Teenagers who have had a lot of sun exposure, often surfer types, are at risk.
What's the #1 thing people can do to prevent skin cancer?
That's an easy question. The #1 thing people can do is wear sunscreen. Protecting your skin against the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun is the #1 thing that you can do, and to be consistent with wearing sunscreen and to do it every day.
Wear sunscreen on a daily basis, especially sun-exposed area, and wear a wide brim hat possibly, and seek sunshade if it's possible, just to minimize the sun exposure.
Wear sunscreen.
Well, of course, the most important thing to prevent skin cancer is sun avoidance, staying out of the sun whenever you can, and if you have to be outside in the sun, making sure you're using sun protective measures like sunscreen and clothing.
I would say use the sunscreen before they go out, and then try to apply about every 2 hours, because around then the chemicals start to break down. So the key to protection is to reapply.
Sunscreen. Sunscreen and seeing your dermatologist.
Sunscreen. Wearing sunscreen and seeing your dermatologist for yearly visits.
It really has to do with the total cumulative sunlight exposure you've had. And a lot of it does occur early in life. So that's the time to be reasonably compulsive about avoiding direct sun exposure. And it's the common sense advice. If you can physically cover up, Do your activities early in the day or late in the afternoon when the sun is more filtered and has less ultraviolet. That's helpful. And particularly avoid acute episodes of sunburn, which is more related to melanoma incidence.